to a very special COVID-19 edition of the Alex and Jeff Show featuring Evan. We got no Evan, but we got Nikki V again. It's been a while for me, but the boys have been holding down the fort with an MLB All-Star Starting 9 podcast last week. So thank you for Jeff and Nick for providing us all of that fun. I know it's a hard time for everybody. Try to stay positive. Stay inside if you can. Flatten that curve. That's the PSA. But Jeffrey, we got an action-packed show. Tell the people what's coming.
All right. We got a great show here. So we got the return of Al, and it's been a while. So we're happy to have you back. We got Nikki V joining us again. And what we're going to do is kind of talk about some of the things that we talked about last episode. But now that Alex is back, we can get your takes on it, see how that's going. So, Nick, how are you, man? We're happy to have you.
Thanks for having me again.
Anytime. You're slowly becoming a reoccurring guest.
I'm all about it.
I'm all about it, baby.
So, Al, let's start with what's hot in the streets today. The quarantine, and what have you been doing to keep yourself entertained? And you have a special shout out for us.
Yep, that's true. We'll start with the shout out. Shout out the official nurse of the podcast, Paige. She's out there on the front lines in Rhode Island Hospital taking care of the sick. They're limiting visitors, so it's a tough time for families. They can't visit their loved ones in the hospital, but I assure you they got the best care going. So shout out Nurse Paige. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you to everyone else who's out there working, whether it's grocery stores, restaurants, childcare, first responders, police, nurses, doctors, all those people, shout out. Thank you for fighting that fight. For me, I haven't been quarantined. I actually worked all week. But thankfully, to where I work, I'm getting a work cell phone. I have a work cell phone now, so I'll be working home this week. So Monday through Thursday, what I'm going to do in quarantine, I'm going to work, put in those hours, call those clients, make sure everyone's doing good. But today's my day off. I get 3-day weekends. #blessed. Played a lot of video games this morning. A lot of Apex Legend with the boys. Borderlands on deck. I got Jedi. Jedi Knight Fallen Order, something like that. I got that in the hole. Been watching a lot of wrestling because no live sports, but wrestling's still going on. Shout out AEW. Big episode last Wednesday. We got Matt Hardy and Brody Lee. Great debuts. So, just trying to stay busy. I think for people working from home, the best thing you can do is kind of do your routine like you would be normally going to work, except for your home. If you eat breakfast, make sure you eat your breakfast. Get ready how you normally would so you're productive, and then when it's time to take it off, chill. But, that's pretty much it. Just trying to stay busy, but stay inside unless you have to leave the house because we want to #flatten that curve.
I love it. That's right. Shout out to Paige and the other first responders out there. Nick, man, how are you?
Doing well. Not too much has changed for me since Wednesday or Tuesday that we podcasted, but I'm doing fine.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, glad to be back chatting with the boys.
All right. I love it. All right, so let's get into it here. So, Al.
Yes.
There was some big news in the sports world, even though the sports world is kind of stopped.
Oh, are you talking about the Patriots signing fullback Dan Vitale? I did see that.
Yes, that is the biggest news coming out of New England.
Honestly, I can't think of anything else.
Actually, Nate Ebner signed with the Giants.
Yep, I did see that. Yep, Danny Shelton's gone. Yeah, I mean, is that the big news you're talking about?
That Danny Shelton's gone?
Danny Shelton's gone.
Where did he go?
The line.
Yeah, I believe you are correct.
I like
either them or the Dolphins. They're the ones signing all the expats.
That is true. But all right, you know what? Let's be real. Let's face the truth here. Thomas Edward Brady, QB1. He has went to a new team known as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay, yep.
And it's just weird.
It's weird.
So what do you think?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. It was not as devastating as I thought it was going to be. You know, I was on record saying I wanted Tom Brady back, obviously. Finish his career, his storied career with the Patriots. But I was also honest with myself, and I wanted that for emotional reasons, for selfish reasons. On the football field, depending on who the Patriots replace at quarterback, you know, if they can get a veteran or some sort, on the football field, I don't know how much worse off they're going to be. And I think a big reason for that is last year the Patriots offense was inept, and I love Tom Brady. I think if he had a better O-line and better receivers, he would have had a much better year. But the thing is, you know, the Patriots don't really have great receivers, and their O-line is struggling. So, you know, maybe it's not a bad thing to get a younger, more mobile quarterback. So it's weird. It's sad, but I wasn't as broken up about it as I thought. I just want to say thank you, Tommy. 20 great years, 6 championships. If the Patriots aren't going to win next year, I'm rooting for the Bucks. So go Tampa. But thank you, Tommy, for your 20 years.
Yeah, that was kind of the take that Nick and I had a couple days ago. Was like, it's crazy, but just, you know, we kind of reflected that it was literally since we were like boys, since we were like 5, 6 years old, was the last time that Tom Brady wasn't the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I was 8. Let me see. So the 2001. So the 2001 Super Bowl was the 2000 season, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was 7 in 2001 because I'm born in November. So February 2001, is that math correct? Yeah, I was 7. So the Super Bowl, I was literally 7 years old when Brady was quarterback. I don't know him.
That's crazy. Like, you literally have gone through like your childhood, high school, college, and into your and grad school for you. Like, you've literally lived your entire life. Now you're married. Like, all of these, you've had all these changes, and you have a dog.
I have a dog right here.
You have all these changes in your life, and Tom Brady was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Except for in 2009 when we had Matt Castle. But anyway.
Yeah. Good year. 11-5.
Good year. Good year.
I will say, so Brady, Tom has been there by my side through it all. You know, like you can say Paige has been there by my side. My parents. Well, Tom Brady's been there through thick and thin. So Tommy, thank you for being there through all those life moments.
That's true.
I'm gonna have a little take here. I don't know if it's hot, but it's a take.
All right.
Cameron Newton is the quarterback of the New England Patriots. They are winning the division, and they're going to the AFC Championship game. If he's healthy. If they sign him and his foot's all busted and he stinks, then obviously no. If Cam Newton is healthy and the Patriots sign him, they will win the division and be in the AFC Championship game. That's it. That's the take.
Wow. Interesting. I mean, I'm going to ruminate on that, but I need to think about that, and I will give you my rebuttal. But I want to hear from Nick, because the last time we talked, he wasn't officially a Buck. How you feel on that? He's officially a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
You know, I think I'm with Alex here in that the shock factor has kind of left my system. You know, I think he's going to be competitive on that team, and I'm not disappointed about that. I mean, you know, obviously, favorite player growing up, and how can you root against him after, you know, the 20 years that he gave you? So he's in a tough division that seems to be getting better with the additions that the Falcons and the Falcons have made. I don't know. I'm excited. Like, I think he's going to probably win at least 9 games. I know the free agency is not over yet, but I can see them being a wild card team or fighting for the South with, I guess, New Orleans right now. But overall, I'm kind of excited to see him throw to decent targets again. Like, he's got Mike Evans, Godwin, and he's going to end up with Antonio Brown and probably Julian Edelman. So that might be a hot take, but I think that's coming too. I'm excited to see him throw the ball. I mean, here's the thing. If the Patriots aren't on, everybody – well, first of all, anybody's going to watch this new Tampa Bay team just because of Tom Brady's there. And obviously, as a Tom Brady fan, like, I'm going to watch all their games now. I'm going to watch every Pats game and probably every Bucks game. So he's coming – but you know what? He's coming back to New England next year, 2021. He comes to New England.
It's true. It's
with
true.
Tampa. So.
Now, Nick, I really respect that take. I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but I just like how you presented it. You started with the facts. He's going to have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And then you went to like a little bit of a speculation and Antonio Brown. And then you just threw in Julian Edelman with it. I love how you did that.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes your imagination, I've had a lot of time to think about this, right? This is no ordinary time we're talking about here. We got quarantine, got a lot. You got hours to think about what Tom Brady is going to be dealing with. And in this world, I can imagine Julian Edelman requesting a trade from Bill Belichick, and I can see Antonio Brown coming out of the woodwork and signing some crazy deal with the Buccaneers. I think it's possible.
So I think it is possible too. A couple things in the way of Antonio Brown, allegedly, and now I have not spoken with Antonio personally. Or Bruce Arians personally. I am trying to get a hold of both of them. They're not answering my call. Allegedly, Bruce Arians does not want Antonio Brown on the Buccaneers. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, because I think what you're saying with the Brady and the Brown friendship, things could change. Edelman, I could also see being like, hey Bill, like we're probably going to be, once again, unless we get Cam Newton. If Jarrett Stidham's the quarterback, the Patriots will probably be pretty mediocre next year, and I don't think Edelman wants to waste the last couple years of his career. But I do have a concern about the Bucs, and even with Brady, or I'll actually say especially with Brady, because Brady accelerates in short and intermediate routes from his receivers and getting the ball out quick. And the Buccaneers' offense, as of now, and I know the whole idea is, they'll change to Brady, but their skill set, their receiver skill set. My dog just sneezed, so bless you, Wally. But their receivers, their skill set is deep balls in air raid offense and vertical offense. I love Tom Brady. Does not have a deep ball. He hasn't had a deep ball since Randy Moss. So if Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate he's still on that team? I don't even know. Oh, O.J. Howard. That's what I was thinking of. O.J. Howard. If all these guys are going to be deep ball receivers, is it going to work? I don't know. I don't want to bet against Brady, but that is the concern of mine.
I think the Bucs are going to be quite good, mostly because I think you got a motivated Brady in a way that he hasn't been motivated since the Deflategate. Also, Alex, I hear what you're saying about the style of offense of the Bucs. However, how many times over the last 2 years did Brady throw a beautiful deep ball that Philip Dorsett dropped?
Maybe twice.
Oh, come on.
A beautiful deep ball to Philip Dorsett, and he dropped it.
That seems like that happens all the time. I'm not saying that his game is clearly the quick pass to Edelman over the middle and Amendola and Troy Brown and those guys. Right. However, when he's had the weapons, when he's had Randy Moss, when he had Gronk, when he's had those guys, I think I'm just saying I'm seeing a revitalized Brady. I can see the Bucs winning 9-10 games going to the wild card.
Yeah, but okay, so 9-7, 10-6. Yeah, that's great. That's good. They were 7-9 last year. So I agree. I could see them being 2 wins better than the Jameis Winston-led Bucs. Like I said, if the Patriots aren't in it, I'll root for the Bucs. I have no problem. I just, right now, as currently constituted, I don't see it. If they get Antonio Brown, Julian Edelman, Adam Schefter is saying that all these veteran free agents want to flock to Tampa because Tom's there. So if all of that happens, sure. Right now, I don't know if the pieces quite fit. Brady will be revitalized, but unless that revitalization electrolytes sold at tb12.com, unless that has like a steroid for his right arm, I don't think it's going to be there. Because Brady excels on reading defenses, getting the ball out quick, sure-handed receivers, right? Mike Evans, I like Mike Evans a lot. He's very streaky. He's hot and cold. If you look at his career, and part of it is Jameis. I'm not saying that, but he'll go from 12 catches and 200 yards to 0 catches. Next week, 4 touchdowns. Next week, 0 touchdowns. He's a very streaky receiver. Brady doesn't like streaky. He likes streaky. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Yeah. He likes consistency. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Once again, if the Pats aren't in it, go Bucks. I'm a Pirate, baby. I've been a Bucks fan since the Tom Brady era, I like to say.
Fair enough. Nick, do you have any last thoughts on Brady, and then we'll move on to some other free agent news?
I have heard that he is going to get some form of roster control, which is very interesting. Obviously, playing under Bill Belichick his entire career, he's always wanted to have some say in who he's throwing to. So the idea that he's going to have the ability to say, maybe in the next 3 or 4 months, to help build the team that he wants to throw to, I mean, that's definitely something that is interesting.
True.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of NFL rosters, we got some shakeups going on. So we'll touch on a couple of the big ones that we didn't have a chance to talk about the other day. So we got, I guess we'll do this kind of as a 2-for-1. Why not? 2-for-1. We got DeAndre Hopkins being traded to the Arizona Cardinals, and then Todd Gurley being let go by the Rams, and then I just learned this thanks to Nick and Alex here. Signed by, what was it, the Falcons?
Yep.
So maybe we'll start with Mr. Nick here. Nick, what do you think about these two big moves?
I mean, wow. DeAndre Hopkins, to me, is a little bit more stunning than Todd Gurley. I saw the Todd Gurley thing coming a little bit. They kind of did it to themselves. They had a lot of big contracts that they weren't going to be able to hold on to. But the DeAndre Hopkins trade kind of came out of nowhere. And the fact that, well, that and the Stephon Diggs one. I know the Stephon Diggs one was floating around too. But the trade for DeAndre Hopkins, it feels like there's a lot of big moves happening to make moves, not to, I don't know. I've heard stories about the drama that happened between him and the head coach. And what did they get for him?
David Johnson, baby.
Did they get a second-round pick?
Yeah, it's David Johnson, a second-round pick for Nick Hopkins, and a fourth-round pick.
I think if you're trading DeAndre Hopkins for anything less than a first-round pick, I mean, he's 26 years old. To me, it seems like a bad trade for the Texans. I mean, I might give that a solid D-.
Can I unload on the Texans for a little bit?
Yeah, please do. I think we need that now.
The Houston Texans. All right. So the defending Super Bowl champions are who? The Kansas City Chiefs, right?
I believe so.
If any coach, anybody you can think of, Freddie Kitchens, I don't care if it's Lane Kiffin, any coach you can think of, if anyone on the face of the planet was coaching the Houston Texans in their playoff game against the Chiefs would not be Super Bowl champions. The Texans blew a 24-0 lead. And that's all to say, Bill O'Brien, I know he's a Belichick disciple, Bill O'Brien is the worst football coach in the history of forever. Terrible. And the Texans are a terrible organization. They don't have a general manager. They don't want a general manager. They wanted, Nick Caserio from the Pats, and the Patriots said no. And then the Texans were like, okay, we're good. We don't need a GM. And then you make trades like this. Now, from a fantasy football perspective, I was happy because David Johnson, I own David Johnson in my Dynasty League. If David Johnson was on the Arizona Cardinals in purgatory, it would have sucked. However, real football, terrible trade. You don't trade the best receiver in football or second best behind Michael Thomas. You don't trade the second best receiver in football for an older running back and a second-round pick. And it's all on Bill O'Brien and the terrible Texans, and I hate it. And that's my take on the Texans. What was the other signing? Todd Gurley?
Gurley to the Falcons.
Yep, Gurley to the Falcons. That's a good fit. Devontae Freeman is not in Atlanta anymore.
Correct.
Gurley is a Georgia boy. I think that'll be a good fit. I'm surprised that I guess I'm not that surprised. I think the Rams were kind of dumb to give him that contract, but then Sean McVay didn't really use Gurley right, so I'm glad that he's in Atlanta. I think that's a good fit. And I have a little bit of breaking news for you guys.
Oh.
I have just got off the phone with Melvin Gordon.
Oh.
He will be going. He is finalizing a deal. I don't know if it's officially official. He'll be finalizing a deal to go to the Denver Broncos.
Wow.
Me and Melvin were texting all morning, and I called him and I said, hey, Mel, just be honest with me. What's happening? So it's looking like he's going to go to the Denver Broncos. So,
wow. Is that just happening right now?
So when I spoke with Melvin, it was about 20, 30 minutes ago, and he's finalizing that deal with the Broncos. However, that is a little bit of an interesting fit because they also have Royce Freeman and Philip Lindsay. So a little bit of a crowded backfield. So we'll see what happens from there. But
Wow.
Melvin Gordon, one of the Broncos.
Big breaking news. So while you were talking about that, I was thinking about the NFC South. So you're going to have Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Who's the other team?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Business. Teddy Bridgewater.
What team is he on?
Panther.
Oh, and Teddy. So that'll be. You're going to have some great QB battles down there. It absolutely boggles my mind that they traded DeAndre Hopkins, who is I'm going to say it, a once-in-a-decade talent. I'm not saying once in a generation. He is, he's just one of those guys when you're watching the game, he's just clearly the best player on the field. So to trade him for a running back, which is probably the least valued position in the NFL nowadays because of the injury rate and just the decline. And you saw it. Like you talked about Melvin Gordon. They popped in Eckler all season, and Eckler was fine for them.
Yeah.
And so absolutely boggles my mind. I love your reaming of Bill O'Brien and the Texans because it's terrible.
They stink. They beat the Pats though, so they can't stink that much.
That's true. And it stinks for Deshaun Watson because he's awesome. He's a great player, fun to watch, electric, and he's dealing with buffoons.
It's true.
So that's those are my thoughts. I think Gurley will be a good fit for Atlanta. I think we all need to take a breath and realize the man's 24 years old.
25, but yes.
25. Okay, he's 25. Even though he's taken a lot of hits, I think he's still got three good years left. So.
Yeah. The only thing, his knee, I think, is like allegedly like a degenerative condition, I think I heard. But I hope that's, I like Todd Gurley, and I think he should be a good fit. The QB battle thing you mentioned was interesting because, like you said, you get Brady. Oh, sorry. Brady Brees twice a year.
Yep.
Brady, Matty Heisman twice a year, and Brady Bridgewater twice a year. I'll give you another hot take. If the Bucks don't make any major upgrades, right? So if they don't get Antonio Brown, if they don't trade for Edelman, if it's as is or marginally better, the Carolina Panthers will have the same or a better record than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Teddy Bridgewater is awesome. That's the take.
All right. I like it. I like Teddy Bridgewater.
I love Teddy. I wanted the Pats to get Teddy, and once they didn't, I want Cam Newton. Just to circle back, as they say.
All right. Nick, any final thoughts on this chunk of free agency?
I think the DeAndre Hopkins trade seems a little rushed. I feel like they could have got more for him. I don't know if they shopped him around, but it seems like they pulled the trigger pretty quickly. I like the take on Bridgewater. I will say that Tom Brady has struggled against the Panthers defense, so now he has to play him twice in one season. That's interesting. It could be a combination of the Patriot. He's not on the Patriots anymore, so that's going to be totally different. But
right.
Yeah, playing those great quarterbacks twice a year is going to be fun because for the last decade or so, he's only been playing kind of mediocre quarterbacks twice a year.
That's too much praise for the quarterbacks in the AFC East. I would say deplorable.
Yeah, pretty bad. You're right.
Yeah, I hear you. So two quick things that just came across the news feed.
Oh.
Melvin Gordon, 2 years, $16 million, officially finalized for Denver.
Ooh, that's cheap.
2 years, $16 million. That's $8 million. Yeah.
Sounds like a good value.
Yeah. Hey, Gordon's a good player. What was the other one that I was thinking of?
Eric Ebron with the Steelers.
Yep, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but that happened as well. I forgot what the other thing I was going to say, but don't worry about it.
All right.
We can move on. I'm good.
Yeah, so we're going to move on, but I want to I'm going to do a surprise segment.
Oh, I like it.
That I've been thinking about. So it's a new segment before we go into our wrestling talk here. It's called Social Quagmire. So This is a social situation that happened to me, and I didn't know what to do, so I want to get your take on it.
Okay.
So I went to the grocery store.
Yep.
To get some supplies, mostly frozen pizza, and let me just say, everyone, calm down. The grocery stores are stocked, and just take what you need and don't be a weirdo. Anyway, so I'm going to the self checkout because I'm trying to social distance.
Yep, naturally.
So the woman in front of me has a huge order. Hey, I'm in no rush. I got nothing to do. No big deal. So the issue with the self checkout is you check out your bag. You check out your bag.
Yep.
This lady had a lot to bag.
Yep.
My question, in my social quagmire question of the day, is: do I begin to check out my items while she's bagging, or do I wait? Because that's what I figured. But the woman behind me, I could feel her stare, like just through me, like, hurry up, blah, blah, blah. So what I tried to do was, like, I really tried to stall. Like, I pretended I was, like, looking for my Stop and Shop card to, like...
Oh, here it is. Oh, dropped it. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's my question. Do you wait for the person to finish bagging, or do you begin your checkout?
Okay. The official nurse of the podcast page and I ran into this situation about a fortnight ago.
Yeah.
My official stance on this is you wait unless you get verbal consent to begin your scanning from the person in the bagging area. Because self-checkout, like you said, you scan your bag. That's your time, right? So unless you get the verbal, okay, oh yeah, you can start scanning, let them do their thing. And the lady behind you, you know what I'd say? It's Corona season. Just take a deep breath, So that's what I'm thinking. Nick, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm in the same situation here. I think I'd be one to wait and let her get out of my way. Corona season, you're not going anywhere near this woman. Who knows? Nothing against her, but you got to play it safe. The woman behind you, she's got to take a chill pill. She's obviously, it's a tough time. It's panic mode. But you got to step back and say, look, it's 30 seconds, maybe less. Just let the woman pack her stuff up. There's probably another cash register open that you're not even paying attention to because you're so heated. So yeah, I think Jeff, you ended up playing it safe and waited, right? You searched for the card, you played it.
Yeah, I did the classic diversion.
Right, the stalling tactic. I think that's the only way you can play it.
All right. Well, that's just a quick question I've been really racking my brain about for the last couple of days. So that was Social Quagmire.
Like it.
Brought to you by eHarmony.
Brought to you by who?
eHarmony.
Oh, good.
All right. Moving on. Al, I want to just do a quick Hurricane roundup. Because I want to devote a good amount of time to your baseball item because it was a very fun conversation with Nick last time. But really quick, give us the 411 as the kids say about Mania because there's a lot going on with it. Gronk's hosting.
Yep.
What the heck is going on?
Yep. So, from my understanding from talking to Shane McMahon personally, is that's a new bit of mine, by the way.
Wait, you're not actually talking to these people?
No, I did not actually talk to Melvin Gordon. I don't want to get sued for slander.
Oh, okay.
Or libel. Wait, which one's the spoken one? Libel? Slander?
Seems like a question for Nat.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to ask him. Whatever. Libel or slander. I'm kidding. I did talk to Melvin Gordon. Of course I did. So, from my understanding, after having a very deep and personal conversation with my dear friend Shane McMahon, Wrestlemania is a 2-day event. It's going to be taped and live at multiple sites. I don't know where the sites are. I know Performance Center in Orlando, at Full Sail University, wherever that is. I think that's where
yeah, that's where they do it.
Yeah, something like that. The Performance Center is one. That's where they've been having Raw and SmackDown. And then the other locations are to be announced. But no fans in the arena for obvious reasons. I think there's going to be some pre-taped matches, which should be interesting. The idea of making it a 2-day event and multiple sites is so it breaks up the monotony of the 7-hour Mania like we talked about last year. And also, with no fans, it might be a dud, because if you think about the matches, there are very few elite workers at the top of the card, right? Because think about your main matches: Undertaker and AJ Styles, right? AJ's gonna. I don't know if that's official yet, but I think that's
official.
It's official, okay. Undertaker, AJ Styles. So AJ, one of the best workers in the world, but Undertaker, who's a bazillion years old. So you're going to need a crowd for the Undertaker entrance because that's half his thing, So that match has a chance to be real dead. Next, Bray Wyatt and John Cena. John Cena's going to have some ring rust. Cena is a pretty good worker, but he hasn't had a real match in at least a couple years, I don't think. And Bray Wyatt, who is my favorite wrestler of all time, he's not the best worker. He's a good worker. He's not the best worker. And then, of course, you got Roman and Goldberg, which might be the worst main event ever. And then you have Edge and Randy Orton, which my most excited match is Edge versus Randy Orton, because I think that's personal. I think it's going to be good. I think it's good storytelling, and I think they're both really good workers in the ring. Bray Wyatt, John Cena, the build is going to be interesting, but I think the match is going to be disappointing because Bray's not a great worker and Cena's going to have some ring rust. But yeah, WrestleMania should be very interesting. And like you said, Rob Gronkowski's hosting. I think that should be at the very least fun. I don't think he's going to take it too seriously or anything like that. So yeah, it should be interesting. I don't know if I'm ready to say it's going to be good, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. They don't necessarily have the best wrestlers in terms of traditional in-ring action. They definitely have great characters in this Mania. Let me just say this. This would be the perfect time for a House of Horrors match.
Oh, no! I hate the House of Horrors match.
That was
beginning of the end for my boy.
So yeah, Nick, did you know that Gronk will be the host of WrestleMania?
Did hear that. That's definitely news.
as a non big wrestling guy, what would it take for you to watch Mania?
I think perhaps coronavirus.
Oh, you're saying if there was a global pandemic, you'd actually watch it?
Maybe.
I'm not a huge fan on scripted sports.
So you don't just kidding.
That's where you say I don't like the NBA? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because you said I'm not a fan of scripted sports.
True. Big fact. Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know. I just never got into wrestling. I mean, I think it's awesome. I just, for some reason, never got into it.
Fair.
Hey,
but Gronk, now that's a guy I could get behind. If he ever gets into the ring, which 5 years down the line could be his thing, I'll give him a shot.
I think within a year he'll be in the ring. Maybe not full.
That soon? Wow.
I think so. But Jeff, I want to go back because I feel like I did a disservice. I think the two actual best matches are going to be people that I think the casual fan has never heard of. Well, maybe not.
Ooh.
It's going to be the best match of the night is going to be Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. That's going to be a great match. Rhea Ripley is a former, I don't know if she was in UFC, but she has an MMA background. And then the other big women's match is going to be Becky Lynch, Jeff's personal favorite.
Whoa. Not
I know,
true.
you're a Bayley guy.
I'm a Bayley guy.
That's true. So Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, another UFC background fighter. So the two women's matches are actually going to be pretty killer, I think. And those four women are great workers. So I don't think they'll need the crowd. I think it's going to come through. So that'll be a good time to showcase the women, some of the better athletes in women's wrestling. So that'll be pretty cool.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. I watched Elimination Chamber not knowing a lot about Shayna Baszler, and I was like, this lady like really makes me believe that like she is like terrifying and like actually like the other females were actually like scared of her. So I agree with you. I think, and in a weird way, I feel like the no crowd will like serve her really well. Like I think she'll be able to work it.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool. Now, just we'll we'll talk more about Mania as we go along here, but I do want to make sure we get enough time.
Yes.
To get to what was very, very fun conversation for myself and Nick, our all-time MLB starting lineups. So, Al.
Yes.
We want to hear yours.
All right. And just to remind the crowd, because I got some chirps over text message.
Oh.
But from our guy Evan, this is not the greatest lineup of all time, right? This is our favorite lineup of all time.
Yeah, and I don't know why Evan's chirping you about greatest, because he's like, oh, you didn't put Paul LaDuca in there as the greatest catcher of all time.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Batting first in right field, Mookie Betts. Batting second in center field, Ken Griffey Jr. Batting third, playing third base, Adrian Beltre. Batting cleanup, your designated hitter for this evening, David Ortiz. So if you notice, I'm going right, left. Little strategy. Batting fifth, playing left field, Manny Ramirez. And here we go. This is where it gets a little dicey. Batting sixth at first base, Albert Pujols. And then 7, 8, 9, we have at second base, your Rookie of the Year and then MVP, Dustin Pedroia. Batting eighth, behind the plate, your captain, Jason Varitek. And batting ninth and playing... Wait, who's my shortstop? oh, here it is. I'm sorry. And playing shortstop, Barry Larkin.
Ooh.
Yep, big Barry Larkin guy. I had a Barry Larkin glove through all of my Little League playing second base.
Oh.
Pretty well.
Was that a Wilson?
What's that?
Was he a Wilson guy?
I think it was Rawlings.
Rawlings, all right.
So, without the funny voice, in order, we got Mookie, Griffey Jr., Beltre, Ortiz, Manny, Pujols, Pedroia, Varitek, Larkin. Good lineup.
Good lineup.
So, at first, I only picked one starting pitcher and one closer. So, my favorite starting pitcher is Johnny Lester, and my favorite closer is Koji Uehara. But if we're having a full rotation, off the top of my head, we got Pedro in there. We got Lester in there. We're going to go Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, and we're only going guys with who we saw, you said, right? Well, for the most part?
That's how I personally did it. You can do whatever you want. I went with players that I've seen play in my era.
Yeah, I gotcha. So one more starting pitcher. Let me think. This is tough. One more starting pitcher. Let's go with, I don't know. I have no idea.
Don't you dare put David Price on it.
No, not David Price. I like David Price, but not top five. So I had Johnson, Greg Maddux, Pedro, Lester. This is tough. Let me think about the starting pitcher. I'll go with the bullpen. I'll go with Koji. I'm going to go with Byung-Hun Kim. I'm not kidding. Good player. And let's go with prime Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah.
And then my fifth starter, oh man, I don't know. Let's go with the late, great Jose Fernandez, who I thought, obviously died way too soon. He was 23 or something. That kid was absolutely electric. So I really liked watching him throw. He had a funky windup. He had a good personality. Very popular among the players. And let's go Fernandez. I think that's my favorite. My favorite players. I think, I really appreciate the love that Griffey's gotten since the Jeter thing, because once Jeter was not the unanimous Hall of Famer, people kind of came out of the woodwork saying if Griffey's not going to be unanimous, no one should. And you know what? I agree with that, because if Griffey's not going to be unanimous, neither is Derek Jeter, because Griffey's a billion times better. Rant over. So yeah, that's my lineup. What do you guys think? You like the lineup?
Woo! Yeah, I think it's fantastic, and I think Nick and I talked quite a bit about how what's so great about this is there's no right answer to this, and it's just for me, it's very interesting hearing what people why people came up with certain answers. So I appreciate your list.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you appreciating it. So one thing I considered in my lineup, and I did the left, right, left, right, left thing. Something in baseball that they're doing is the best hitter batting second now. Have you noticed that trend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, I would like to have my best hitter batting third. So if we're not doing right, left, I'd probably put Ortiz third, because even though Griffey's probably the better pure hitter, I mean, Ortiz just, when he steps into that box, it's lights out, and something that Griffey never won, I don't think, because he was with the Mariners. He definitely never won with the Mariners.
A World Series?
Yeah.
No, he did not win a World Series.
Yeah. So, just saying, love Ken Griffey. Other than Ortiz is my favorite player of all time, but I'm putting Ortiz third if I'm ignoring left, right. So, all right, that's what I got.
I like it. Nick, what do you think of Al's team there?
Yeah, I love the team. I loved everything except the comparison to Jeter being roughly a billion times factor. That's a little absurd, I think.
Right, 100 times better.
Oh. Okay.
You want my official Derek Jeter take? Here it is.
Yeah, give it to me.
I was talked off a ledge when he was in the Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Great offensive player, clutch. He benefited hugely from that team. His defense, he's a bad defender. He won 5 gold. Nick, I will fight to the death for it. I saw that face. I know he won like 5 gold gloves. Look at his metrics. He's not a good defender. He won those gold gloves off name recognition alone. I can send you article after article about it. Great hitter, bad defender, way overrated defensively. Way overrated. And I got the numbers to back it up, but we don't have the time for that. I will send you the material, though.
All right, I'll accept the 100 times better.
Fine.
So it's a very interesting debate over Griffey and Jeter. Because Griffey, you have the numbers. He has 600 home runs. He's in every way, he's a better individual player than Jeter. Jeter, though, he has the leadership. He has the World Series rings. He's got all that. Alex, I disagree with your statement that Jeter was a bad defender. I don't necessarily trust defensive metrics because did you notice who I put as my center fielder in my on my team?
No.
Should I tell you?
Yeah.
Jackie Bradley Jr.
Oh God.
And here's my whole thing. Defensively speaking, he is the most fun and the best defender I've ever seen play center field. The defensive metrics are biased against players who cover a lot of ground.
But Jeter didn't cover a lot of ground.
I'm not saying that Jeter is an all-time defender. However, Jeter played shortstop at an elite level for 20 plus years.
Elite.
Jeter was the leader of that infield. Jeter made all the smart plays, and Jeter ultimately was the shortstop and won, I think, 5 rings.
5 championships.
Yeah.
And
watch him.
That's like, to me, having that leadership, having that stalwart in the middle there, it just speaks volumes instead of necessarily being a defensive metric, all this stuff. Like if you look at the defensive metrics, like Ozzie Smith is like not one of the best shortstops of all time. However, you just watch these guys play and they're making all these unbelievable plays, and they're hurt because they are able to get to so many more balls than the average defensive shortstop. Like, you're going to tell me that like Steven Drew's defensive metrics are better than Ozzie Smith? Get that out of here.
Are they? Did you just make that up?
No, but I went for like a shortstop who like probably has good defensive metrics.
Okay, fair enough. Here's my rebuttal to that. A, Derek Jeter wasn't even on the best shortstop on the Yankees. Alex Rodriguez is a better shortstop than Derek Jeter. He is. defensively, Alex Rodriguez is a better shortstop than Derek Jeter. Jeter should have moved to third, but you know what? Shortstop is a sexy position. Jeter, the egomaniac, was like, "Oh no, I'm staying at third." Also, your little praise about Derek Jeter being a champion and all that. If you put Ken freaking Griffey Jr. and flip him out with Bernie Williams, Ken Griffey Jr. wins 20 rings.
Time out.
Yeah, I want to get to this one, if I may.
Yeah, Nick, are you about to say what I'm about to say?
Yeah, I mean, Ken Griffey spent most of his career in the NL Central, so I mean, to hit 600 dingers there versus in the AL East in its own is a huge difference, right? Like, I don't think he would have had 600 home runs if he played for the Yankees.
Oh boy!
Hold on.
That's tough. And second of all, Bernie Williams is a solid player.
No, I know. My point is, you put Ken Griffey Jr. on the 90s and early 2000s.
No, I understand.
Hold on.
He wins a bunch of rings. But...
Ken Griffey Jr.'s Mariners team had Alex Rodriguez, Edgar Martinez, Randy Johnson. It's not like he was Roy Halladay playing with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's true too.
But
the Yankees are the best teams of all time.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Let me look up Griffey's. Okay, postseason Jeter offensively, whatever, no question about it. I'm not saying that.
Let me preface this by saying I'm a big Red Sox fan.
Okay.
If you're telling me, like you can have a shortstop to build your franchise around. Like, Derek Jeter is going to be one of the guys I certainly consider.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're telling me I can have a center fielder? Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be probably the guy I pick. So I think it's more just like an interesting debate. Like, it's a baseball debate. It's team success versus individual success. It's like a guy like Mike Trout. He's arguably the greatest player of the last 20 years, but he hasn't won anything. And again, baseball's the ultimate team game. So
yeah,
I don't know. I appreciate this debate because it's fun.
Wait, are you a big WAR guy, Jeff?
I mean, kind of, but I think, and now I'm kind of talking out of my butt here, but doesn't that depend a lot on the previous player?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I think it's more about league average, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I could be wrong, but anyways, if you are a big WAR guy, I'm not. So I'm going to use a stat that I don't really like that much. For reference, Ken Griffey Jr.'s WAR, his career WAR, 83.8. Your beloved Derek Jeter, 71. Just saying. That's a 12-game difference, a 12-win career difference. Just, I don't know. You tell me. Also, Ken Griffey Jr. in the playoffs. I just had it. So he only had 79 plate appearances. Plate appearances. So very small sample size. It's not, you talk about Edgar Martinez and Randy Johnson, and first of all, Randy Johnson's days were on the D-backs. Fact.
Okay. Randy Johnson was a good pitcher his whole career, except for maybe when he went to San Francisco.
He was. No, I agree. That's why I made my all-time list. I'm just saying. But you just named one ace, right? And, 4 really good position players, and you compare them to the 90s Yankees.
First of all, Edgar Martinez was a DH, not a position player.
Okay. That's true.
Jay Buhner, John Olerud, Brett Boone.
Thanks. He wore a helmet, so people think he's good. Like,
what a great marketing strategy.
This was not supposed to turn to Griffey versus Jeter, but you cannot tell me.
I don't even know which side I'm on, to be honest.
Yeah, this is a tough one, really.
Oh my God, no, it's not.
It's like Jeff said. If you had to pick a single center fielder to make your team around right now, who'd you pick?
Ken Griffey Jr.
I'd pick Mike Trout.
Oh. Okay.
If you had to pick any shortstop right now, I'd pick Derek Jeter.
I'm gonna pick A-Rod.
Sheesh.
A-Rod is a better player than Derek Jeter.
Yeah, but to be honest, though, I definitely believe there is a huge intangible about leadership in baseball. Being a clubhouse guy, 162 games, people are going to listen to A-Rod. People are not going to be... I'd rather have Jeter being my captain than A-Rod being my captain
any day of the
week.
But A-Rod was a better player in their primes. Primes versus primes, A-Rod's better. A-Rod took steroids as an idiot. I don't even want to defend A-Rod. That's not the point. My point is, if this whole debate is hinging on Jeter's leadership intangibles, which Jorge Posada was the leader of that team. That's just a fact. I'm just kidding. Jeff fired up. No, Jeter was. He was the captain. I get that. But if you put Ken Griffey Jr., don't even think about Bernie Williams. I don't know why I said Bernie Williams. You're off the Yankees, and you put Ken Griffey Jr. on those 90s Yankees, they have very similar success. I would be very willing to guarantee that.
I think it's fair to say if you put Ken Griffey Jr. on that team that they like, I am definitely agreeing with you that Ken Griffey is arguably he is a top 10, top 20, top 10 player of all time.
Top 20, Jeff. Top 2.
Okay, baseball's been around for like 200 years, and Ted Williams, Stan Musial. All I'm saying is that I think it's a very interesting debate, and we're going to throw a Twitter poll up there for the people. You're starting your franchise. You can either take Derek Jeter or Ken Griffey Jr. Who do you take? I think it's a great debate.
If someone takes Derek Jeter, I'm blocking them on Twitter.
Well, it's going to be tough anyway because a lot of Boston fans don't like Derek Jeter for the wrong reasons. But I think that's a good poll. That's a good poll, though.
I think it's a great poll.
Derek Jeter is not a good defender. That's what this all started with. I have the numbers. I have the stats. I have the numbers. I have whatever you want. Derek Jeter, overrated AF as a defender.
There is some truth to Jeff's argument, though. I mean, when you cover ground, you're more liable to make errors.
But he does.
Just like Jackie Bradley.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on Derek Jeter's. I will say I don't know his fielding percentages that well.
I would say he is a above average defender for a very long time.
Average defender for a long time, and then his Gold Gloves were more lifetime achievement awards than actual Gold Gloves.
I could agree with that. However, that is what the Gold Glove is. Like, the Gold Glove is always gone. It's always going to go to the guy with bigger name recognition.
Yeah,
okay, that's dumb. Then I don't agree that. So like you're
get on the committee.
Jackie Bradley's never won a Gold Glove, or he has one, or he either has one or zero.
I think he's got one.
I don't know, because you know why? Who always wins it? Mike Trout.
Yeah, and he probably deserves it.
Oh, so I agree with you too. You just told me Jackie Bradley's the greatest defensive center fielder you've ever seen.
He is, but that's also because I watch him on a arguably nightly basis, and I just like. And remember, this was your favorite player, and just to me, personally, like if it was like bottom of the ninth and there's a ball hit into the gap, you got one player to go track it down. I'm going to say I want Jackie Bradley.
Jackie Bradley. I hope they trade him for a middle reliever.
I'm very confused on what my point in this argument was. This is a great debate. I'm not going to lie.
It somehow turned into Jeter versus Griffey. Jeter is not a better player than Ken Griffey Jr. He's just not.
This was a singles match between Griffey and Jeter, and then all of a sudden Jackie Bradley came out of nowhere with a steel chair.
I think the overall point of this debate is that whoever votes for the Hall of Famers, they both messed up not making both Derek Jeter and Ken Griffey unanimous. Or when it's Jeter's turn. Or has he gotten in already?
Jeter was elected this past or he hasn't been. The ceremony hasn't happened, but
right.
And one guy left him off the ballot.
Right. So he's a fool, whoever that guy was.
Sure, and I agree with that. But the thing is, he's not better than Griffey. He's just not.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Jeff.
Yep.
Not the starting the franchise debate, because there's a lot of things. Because you can do that with if you're starting a franchise with Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins, half the people are going to pick Kirk Cousins because he's 20 years younger. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily like who you're going to start.
No, I'm saying you get either Ken Griffey Jr. for his career, which also includes the days where he was falling asleep in the dugout of Seattle, or you get Derek Jeter for his whole career.
90s Yankees, Jeff. Ooh.
There's also the argument about durability.
Durability.
Ken Griffey Jr. his career, which had 600 home runs, was cut short because of injuries.
Cut short. He played for 25 years.
Yeah, but he was injured throughout a lot of it. He was projected to become the all-time home run leader.
Yeah, so is A-Rod. Wait, is A-Rod the all-time home run?
No, it's Barry Bonds.
Oh, all right. No,
Asterisk.
My point was
Hank
A-Rod was
Aaron.
also convicted, and then he got suspended bazillion games. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So I don't even know who I'm going to pick in this debate. I'm just saying I think it's a great debate.
Who do you think is a better player, Derek Jeter or Ken Griffey Jr.?
A better
player.
A better. Let me throw this out there. A better player, Ken Griffey, but a better baseball player was Derek Jeter.
What does that even mean, Jeff?
This is a tough debate for me because it's a lot harder, in my opinion, to find a shortstop that's reliable in the field and can hit than it is to find an outfielder per se that can field decently and hit well.
Okay, but there's no. I understand that point, but the thing is, you said you'd pick Mike Trout over Ken Griffey Jr. Fine, I disagree, but okay. There is no Mike Trout at shortstop, and if the argument is Derek Jeter is the Mike Trout of shortstop, I just don't agree because even Mike Trout is a bazillion times better than Derek Jeter. Mike Trout's a better player than Jeter.
Let me throw this out there. This is like comparing. This is like saying, do you want to start your... This is going to upset you. This is like saying you can either have Allen Iverson or Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. What's the point?
Tim Duncan is Derek Jeter. Allen Iverson is Ken Griffey Jr.
That's garbage. That is garbage. Tim Duncan is an amazing player. Tim Duncan is a better player.
That was a little...
Allen Iverson has the stats. He's got the swag. Kids want his jersey. Tim Duncan's got the rings.
Okay, so if you put Tim Duncan on the whatever 76ers in the early 2000s, he's not going to win those rings either. You're talking about all-time great teams. Derek Jeter has the 90s Yankees are the greatest franchise ever assembled. The Mariners, when Griffey Jr. was on them, were a good baseball team.
True.
Were a good baseball team. Not the greatest franchise ever assembled. Same thing, the San Antonio Spurs are the greatest modern dynasty. I know the Celtics and the Lakers, but the Spurs run is kind of like the Patriots run. They don't win a ring every year, but they're always there till the end. And you have the system. You have, you're also, and I know you're a big coaching and leadership guy, Jeff, Joe Torre. Who was the Mariners' Joe Torre? They didn't have Joe Torre.
I think they had Buck Showalter.
Oh, great. Buck Showalter stinks.
I think. I'm not... Oh, no, Lou Piniella, maybe?
Oh, Lou Piniella, great. Also, Brian Cashman might be the greatest GM in baseball history. And Brian Cashman was also there.
And they had the money.
And they had the money. So you're comparing the Seattle Mariners, who are, for all intents and purposes, a small market team, didn't have one of the better managers of all time, didn't have one of the best GMs of all time, but had probably the greatest player of all time, and you're comparing it to the Yankees, which, like I said, they have the GM, they have the money, they have the coach, they have the market, they have the attention, they have all of that going for them. And my point is, Derek Jeter is an amazing player, he's a Hall of Famer, blah, 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 should have been unanimous. Agreed. Way overrated defensively. And he benefited from being on the greatest teams of all, in the history of the sport. That's my official stance. Stamp it.
Definitely one of those interesting arguments where being on a different team does change your legacy as a player.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, how many more at-bats did Jeter get in the same amount of years? Probably a couple hundred more, just because his offense was way better. He got to hit more. And
he was more durable.
He was more durable, but shortstop versus center field, Jeff. A shortstop isn't as physically demanding a position as center field.
I don't know, man. Typically the shortstops are the best fielders in the team. Ability to field the ball and throw, I would say. I mean, here's what I'll say.
On the Red Sox.
Do you think that Ken Griffey Jr. could have played shortstop?
No, but I don't think Derek Jeter could play center field.
I think it would have been a better chance of Jeter playing center field than Griffey playing shortstop. But that's a different argument.
Maybe. You might be right.
Let's just say this. This is essentially like saying, oh, do you want to have pizza or do you want to have a
filet mignon?
Well, I was trying to just compare two things that are both amazing. Well, I guess, yeah. It's
you want both.
Exactly. And it's almost one of those things where, like, there is no right answer because there are so many different factors, and that's why baseball is great. That's like David Ortiz kind of being a bum on the Twins, and then he gets put in the right situation in Boston, and he becomes a Hall of Famer. So,
Can I ask you a question, Jeff?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Take away the rings.
All right.
Take away wins.
Okay.
Take away whatever you want to take away. Who is a better baseball player? Ken Griffey Jr. or Derek Jeter? They're both prospects. You're watching them play. Who are you going to take?
My stance on this is Ken Griffey is a better player. Derek Jeter is a better baseball player.
You can say he's a better. You can say he has.
He has more intangibles.
He's what?
He has more intangibles than Ken Griffey, but Ken Griffey was certainly more talented. He hit way more home runs. He's a better player. Defensively at his position, he outshined what Derek Jeter was at his position.
Okay, that's all I needed. That's fine.
Yeah.
And guess what? You take Derek Jeter out of that New York Yankees market and you put him in Seattle, no one gives two craps about Derek Jeter. Fact. Just saying.
All right. Fair enough.
Because, honestly, though, so say Derek Jeter was on the Cincinnati Reds. Do you think he wins all those championships? Do you think people glorify him as this amazing talent? I don't know. Maybe.
No, that's no, and that wouldn't happen. But that's the great, again, that's like the great thing about baseball, and, you know, to your credit, like you were saying, like Brian Cashman putting all those pieces together, you know, like they drafted Posada, Rivera, Jeter, like all those guys, and they brought him Andy Pettitte. Did they? Yeah, I think they drafted Andy Pettitte. You know what I mean? And then they put together, and you know,
I'm going to get my computer charger.
Bernie Williams, all this stuff. So I don't know. And you know what? I just want to say this is what's great about baseball is you can have this great debate and discussion, and it's super fun. So we're going to throw a poll out there to the people. If you're starting a franchise and can pick any player, should we throw a third name out there?
Well, so that was actually another one of my questions. So let's go away from the Griffey versus Jeter debate because, you know, I think we're not going to get an answer because you already admitted that Ken Griffey Jr. is a better player, and that's all I need.
Yeah,
so
totally. But I'm still up in the air who I would rather take.
Okay, and like I said, I don't like that franchise argument. I think it's worth the poll because better player, Jeter would wipe the floor. Griffey would wipe the floor, Jeter. However, do you think Derek Jeter is the top 3 baseball player of all time?
Oh, of course not.
Okay. Do you think Ken Griffey Jr. is?
I think he's in the debate.
Okay. So
Jeter's not in the debate. I'll give you that. Jeter's not in the debate.
Okay.
However,
what are we talking about?
However, again, though, it's that thing. It's like, you're going to give me what's more valuable? 15 years of Derek Jeter at shortstop with the intangibles, or 15 years and the durability, or 15 years of Ken Griffey in center field. Look, Ken Griffey was a great leader, a great player, all these things. I'm not taking anything away from Ken Griffey. I might pick Ken Griffey in this debate. I'm just trying to point out that there are a lot of intangibles and a lot of important characteristics of a player like a Derek Jeter, a player like a Carl Ripken, a player like a David Ortiz, you know what I mean, that have these leadership capabilities that go beyond their, like, you could look at a David Ortiz and say, oh my God, he didn't play the field. How is he the greatest of all time? But, like, in the 2013 World Series, when they needed a kick in the butt, it was David Ortiz, the guy they looked up to. David Ortiz was the guy who spoke after the bombing. David Ortiz is the guy that held everyone together. Just saying.
Okay, and one more thing. In this debate, my answer is I'm taking Ken Griffey. We already know that. But do I get the infinite spending, the greatest GM, the system? Do I get the Yankee system? Because if I'm the Joe Schmo Kansas City Royals, why does Derek Jeter matter? If his intangibles are leading bad baseball players, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely hear what you're saying. So I think we could say if you are going to be competing for that championship and you have the talent around you, then you cap it off with a Derek Jeter. However, if you are just a franchise looking to win some ball games, you probably go Ken Griffey.
I'm taking Ken Griffey for both, but
Fair enough.
Nick,
Yes, sir.
what do you think? I'm sorry for getting all fired up. I didn't even know I was going to have to debate this.
I mean, Ken Griffey made my roster and Jeter didn't. So, I mean, I have an affinity towards Ken Griffey. But there is something to me that just says if you're building a team, you want to build them probably around the shortstop or an all-star starting pitcher. I don't know. It's just how, for some reason, I just have that feeling. But I don't know. I think I'd probably still go with Griffey. It's tough.
My man, I don't think it's that tough. And so let's build off that idea. This whole idea that the shortstop is somehow the epicenter. So who are some great shortstops in baseball right now? Frank Lindor, right?
Xander
Bogaerts.
Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis. Who else?
Javier Baez.
Isn't he a second baseman? Well, whatever.
No, he plays short.
Yeah, you're right. He was a utility guy. Now he's short. So Javi Baez. Are you building a franchise around any of those four players?
Yes.
Who?
Javi Baez, Fernando Tatis, Francisco Lindor, and Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, those are all really good players, but
okay, so
you could probably do the same thing with outfield, though. You really could.
And that was my point.
Yeah.
Because, Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts,
Yelich.
Yeah, but hold on. You're going with you have 3 times the amount of outfielders than you have shortstops if you're going by that model. You gave a left fielder, a right fielder, and a center fielder.
That's also true. Like, the shortstop is a very distinct position in that you can move an outfielder around and they'll most likely not lose or gain much efficiency, no matter if it's left, center, or right. So
fair enough. So let me phrase it a different way, and that's fair, Jeff. I'll give you that. But who would you listen? What's the bigger gap, right? Mike Trout to Jackie Bradley, or no. Listen, I'm being fair. I'm doing it your way. Well, give me the best shortstop in baseball. Your personal best shortstop.
Francisco Lindor.
Okay. So, what's a bigger gap? Mike Trout to Jackie Bradley, or Francisco Lindor, who, mind you, was very bad last year. Francisco Lindor to, I don't know, Jose Peraza. What's the bigger gap?
Freddie Galvis. Let's use Freddie Galvis.
I
love Freddie Galvis. He almost made my list.
So my point being, a serviceable shortstop is closer to the best shortstop than a serviceable center fielder is to the best center fielder. Meaning, if I load up on elite talent in center field and the outfield, I can go with a serviceable shortstop and not be suffering that much. You know what I'm saying?
So now, but this is not the debate. We're debating the value of a shortstop versus center fielder. We're saying, if you're starting a franchise, are you taking Ken Griffey or are you taking Jeter? Which essentially boils down to, are you taking the best talent or are you taking the best leadership and durability and all that? And again, I might take Griffey.
I don't know how it's this close. I just don't get it.
Oh, it's certainly close. You have to give Jeter the respect of putting him in that conversation.
So do you think those are the 2 biggest considerations, or do you think there are more players that should be considered?
Oh, there's way more players that should be considered. I think we should come up with one more to throw on the poll. I think you go Griffey, you go Jeter.
Nolan Ryan.
Oh, goodness.
I think we should go someone from that era.
Fine. Randy Johnson. Diamondbacks Randy Johnson.
I was thinking a position player.
Probably a pitcher. Oh, a position player. Okay.
Do you go A-Rod?
What?
A-Rod, Cal Ripken. I think you go Cal Ripken. I think that throws in.
Yeah, you want to talk about intangibles? The guy played 1,000 games in a row. I'm taking Ripken.
You think Cal Ripken would have still played with the quarantine?
That's a good question. I'm sorry for getting off the rails. I don't know.
No, I think this is a awesome debate. I think it's hilarious.
I don't understand it.
I don't necessarily understand all the components of either, but I think if we throw a poll out there, you're starting a franchise. That's what we do. We say you're starting a franchise. You can take Ken Griffey, Cal Ripken, or Derek Jeter.
I don't like the shortstop thing though. We need to go.
That's tough. Would you put Pujols in there?
Ooh, I like that.
Pujols though.
Pujols was unbelievable.
I know. Well, he made my list. He's my favorite first
because
baseman
he is the in between because he's got 2 World Series, he's got the numbers, but he's got the he has the durability issues like Ken Griffey Jr.
You know why Ken Griffey Jr. has durability issues? Because he's running into the wall when he should be, not flailing into the stands for SportsCenter highlights.
Are we good putting Pujols on that?
Yes,
I think that's fantastic. All right, holy cow, that was a big debate. I think we should post this debate as a separate chunk. What do you think?
Whatever you need.
I think we post this. We'll post the whole episode. We'll post Social Quagmire as a segment, and then we'll post the debate as a segment with the poll.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes, please.
That catch that Derek Jeter...
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's terrible.
...is the most overrated catch in the history of catches. And that's what people go back to. You watch that video. He did not need to fall. He caught the ball, braced himself, then fell into the stands like, oh, I'm okay. Like, yeah, you're okay. You didn't need to do that.
You know who did that and doesn't get the credit?
Nomar.
Eduardo Nunez, 2018 World Series.
No, he didn't do it, I thought. He tried to do it.
He fell like 50 times.
Didn't Nomar make a catch like that, though, for real? Or did I make that up?
Sure.
I may have made that up.
I don't know off the top of my head.
And you know what? Another hot take that's going to piss people off? I'm not a Nomar guy.
All right. Tell me about it.
You want to talk durability? Nick's getting fired up. Nomar was not durable. Nomar was not clutch. Nomar was not a leader. Nomar hated everybody. Nomar was a bad teammate. Nomar was good because he took a bunch of steroids and hit a bunch of home runs, and that's it. And then he stunk. I'm not a Nomar guy. Even as a kid, my favorite player was Shea Hillenbrand over Nomar. I'm not kidding.
I'm picturing the meme of SpongeBob sitting alone, and it just says, "I'm a Shea Hillenbrand guy." I do. Shea Hillenbrand was great.
Better than Nomar. That's obviously a crazy take, but Nomar is overrated.
Overrated, yes. Fine.
Man hit 372 one year.
372 on every steroid known to man.
Just saying, he hit 372.
Fair enough. So he had, Nomar is that famous Sports Illustrated cover with his forearms the size of Jupiter. It's like, you think that guy's not on steroids? You're lying to yourself. Just saying. Maybe I'm just a shortstop guy.
Yeah, I think you're anti-shortstop. Well, you said you were a second baseman.
I love Xander Bogaerts, though. I'm going to name my kid after Xander Bogaerts, and that's like half of a lie, because our kid's going to be Xander, spoiler alert, if it's a male. But
wait, do you have breaking news?
No. No, I was just thinking about it. I'm not anti-shortstop. I'm anti-overrated shortstops. I think that's what it is.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
Sheesh. Wow. All right. I think we contractually need to stop, even though I think we could do this all day.
What are we at time-wise?
Like 1:15.
No, that's
not terrible. No, certainly not. Certainly not terrible. Whew. Nick, do you have any final thoughts?
I like talking baseball with you guys. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I love debates, so...
I think we put this out there and we see where the conversation goes and get people's takes on this. I think I'm curious to have Evan's take. Evan's take's going to be Jose Reyes. This is exactly what Evan will do. He'll go, look, I know you're talking Jeter, you're talking Griffey, but let me throw a name out there. And then he's going to pause for 2 seconds and go, Jose Reyes is the greatest shortstop this century. That's classic, Evan.
Can I make a point about the franchise thing again? I'm sorry, I know we're wrapping up, but would you rather, and back to the talent gap, would you rather have Ken Griffey Jr. and Freddie Galvis, or Derek Jeter and Jackie Bradley?
Probably taking Jeter and Bradley.
What? Jackie Bradley is so bad.
I honestly think if you put him in like the one spot, he hits a lot better.
Jackie
I
Bradley.
have no evidence for that. I just feel like he's a confidence guy. You stick him at the leadoff, he's gonna start batting 310.
I love that.
Yeah, Griffey and Galvis or Jeter and Jackie. Who are you taking?
I like the alliteration. That's tough. I don't know.
I'm a little biased towards Jackie Bradley. It's not.
But I'm biased towards Galvis. I'm a big Galvis guy.
Oh my god. I can't believe this.
Look, the only thing that is we can do now is we open this debate up to the public. That's all we can do.
True.
Okay.
I also think that it would be fun to debate who are the most overrated players of all time.
Nomar is definitely up there.
Could be. I mean, he's really only known in the Red Sox community, so that's kind of.
You think that's true? That might be true.
I think he's developed a legendary status. Now, people forget that he was like very turmoil on the 04 team that they had to trade him.
That's what I'm saying. His teammates did not like him.
That was 03, no? When they lost to Aaron Boone in the.
No, 04, because the year he got traded for Doug Minkiewicz.
Oh, right.
And Orlando Cabrera.
Did he go right? Did he go right to LA?
No, he went to Twin. No,
I
don't know.
No,
Cubs?
I believe he went to LA.
Right? LA right away.
Wasn't it LA? It was either LA or no. It was the Cubs. I think it was the Cubs.
I think it was the Cubs. Orlando Cabrera is a great shortstop, by the way. So let's switch it. Griffey and Cabrera, or Jeter and I don't know, Andrew Benintendi.
Benintendi's not a center fielder.
He actually, by trade, he is.
Oh,
He's
my
just
goodness.
a fielder. That's a fact.
All right. I'm calling this. We're pulling the plug. I think this is an epic debate, and now we're going to open it up to the people.
All right. Do we have any final thoughts or any other segments?
That'll do it.
Wash your hands.
Flatten that curve.
Let's get your thoughts, people.
My final thought is Matt Hardy at AEW is going to be awesome. That's my final thought.
All right. I like it. All right, people. Jeter, Pujols, Griffey. Who you got? And we'll discuss the ramifications of this next time. Sheesh. All right, world. Peace out.